Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rachel and today I have my term 4 reflection. I cannot believe that this is like the last one. I cannot wait to look back on these videos when I am older and see what I did and see what I was struggling with and see what I was excited about when I was going through high school. But this is the last one. I'm finished high school. I graduated. This video is a bit late. I graduated about a month ago, but I still really wanted to make this video for you guys because a lot of you guys requested it as well. And I cannot wait to tell you about term 4. It was definitely my favorite term of the year. I have my little list of things that I want to talk about, so if I'm looking down, that is why. I just don't want to forget anything. I think it was only about 6 weeks or 7 weeks including exams. Maybe it's 8 weeks, but one of our weeks we're not even at school because it's just like graduation and formal and stuff. But you only really have 5 or 6 weeks of classes, so it's a really quick term. And because of that, I didn't have a lot of assignments and most of my assessment were exams. I actually really enjoyed that because I only had 2 assignments, I think. One of them was art and one of them was graphics. And although I only had 2, those are huge assignments and I probably wouldn't have been able to do very well on them if I did have other assignments to work on as well. My graphics one was huge and I am so glad that it's over. I did not really love graphics as a class. I love the people in my class and I love my teacher and stuff like that, but the work, although I love the whole idea of designing, I love graphic design, I love interior design, I love that whole field of graphics, I absolutely hate the computer work, and that is probably one of the main reasons why I didn't look into a future with graphic design. I really liked my graphics class. We only had 2 girls in the entire class and like 20 boys. I ended up doing really well in my graphics class. I ended up getting a VHA 8, which is an A+, and I was 2nd in the cohort for graphics, so that was really good. And my other assignment was for art. It was actually a pretty good assignment because basically we just had to set up an exhibition, and the exhibition was one of my favorite events of the year. I was really proud of the artworks I created in grade 12, and it was really exciting that I was able to show them to my friends and my family because I've never been able to do that before, and I felt really happy that I could share those with the people that I loved. One of the things that was hard during term 4 was that our marks got sent to panel, which is like a place that kind of just confirms your marks, make sure that your teacher isn't marking you too harshly or too easily, and it makes sure that everyone in Queensland is basically getting marked fairly. So it goes through this whole like judgment kind of thing. And my work got sent away to panel for art, and I was sitting on an A+, I think, in art, and they brought my mark down to a B+, which is huge. So they brought it down, I think 7 rungs, 8 rungs, which is a huge deal. The reason why my mark was brought down was because of my artwork in term 2. If you guys remember term 2, that was the term that I broke my wrist. So I wasn't able to complete an artwork to the best of my ability because I had a broken wrist. I only found out when it was too late, but I could have gotten like a special provision type thing for art because I broke my wrist, but I didn't know that at the time, so I didn't get any extra marks. My wrist being broken was not taken into consideration at all, which kind of sucks, but because that artwork wasn't of a great quality compared to the other ones I had, my whole entire portfolio was brought down, which sucks. So they brought me down to a B+, and the problem was, even though I still had to complete my term 4 piece of assessment, I couldn't change my mark at all. So I was sitting on a B+, but that was because in art you get a mark for your artwork, so like how you make it, like your actual like artwork, and you get a mark for all the written stuff that goes along with that, so like your assignments, your critiques, things like that. So you have making, you have written. My artwork mark, because of the broken wrist, was brought down. My written mark was all the way up here. I think it was like an A+, but because my other one was so low, my other one had to be brought down. So the only way I could have gotten into the A range overall was if I brought up my making task, and we didn't have any more making assessments. We only had a written, and because my written was already an A+, I couldn't increase that anymore, so my mark would stay the same. I don't know if any of that made sense, but that is what happened. But despite that, I still managed to top the class, which I was so incredibly thankful for because I worked my butt off to try and top that class. By the way, I ended up finishing on 4 A's and 2 B's, but one of those B's was from art, so it was like a B+. By the way, when I say A and when I say B, I mean like in the A range, in the B range. Could have been A+, A or A-, or B+, B or B-, but I say A's, B's. You get me? So I finished on 4 A's, 2 Bs. One of those Bs was for art, and I still managed to top the class with that one, so I wasn't that unhappy about that. But the other one was for maths, which I knew would happen anyway because I hate maths, and I'm not like bad at maths, but I'm not great at it, so I knew I'd get a B. But I was pretty happy that all the other ones I managed to get an A in. I was sitting on a B, like plus, a HA10 for like the whole year in bio, and that was because in term 2, love that term, it was such a great term, I also failed one of my exams. As you guys know, that was a terrible term, and I failed that one test, which brought everything else in the whole year down. Because if you have a D and you have an A, the A automatically gets brought down to like a C or something. So what I basically needed to do was get an A in everything to be able to bring my mark up so it wasn't like a C. At the end of term 3, I think I was sitting on a HA9, so I went and talked to my teacher and I was like, how can I fix this? Because we had one piece of assessment left and I really wanted to make it into the VHAs, which is an A range. And she was like, because you failed that one exam, the only way you're going to be able to make it into the VHAs is if you get an A+ on your last exam. An A+ in bio? Are you kidding me? Bio was not my worst subject, but it wasn't my best. And so me getting an A+, I was like, are you kidding, miss? No, that's not gonna happen. But I was really determined. Honestly, 2016 was the year of determination for me. I learned how to be determined this year. So I worked really hard. I was waking up at 3 a.m. to get 3 hours of extra study in before school. I went and saw the teacher. I made sure I understood the content really well, and I ended up getting that VHA, and I was so happy about that. I only found out at graduation. My bio teacher came up to me at graduation and told me that I had bumped up my ranking and I'd gotten into the VHAs, and it would have been impossible to wipe that smile off my face that night. I was just so happy because when you work so hard and it actually pays off, like, that's the best feeling. So I won't talk too much more about like the academic sort of side. I'll talk more about the other things. So in term 4, I also had my last ever football game, which was so incredibly sad. I've done football for 5 years at my school, and it's just like the best thing ever. I love my team. I love my coach. I'm gonna miss her so much. It was just really sad to say goodbye to 5 years of football. We also had our sports awards ceremony, which was like the first of the ceremonies for the year, and our touch team, which I was a part of, actually received team of the year, so that was really exciting. That was the only sport award I received, which is pretty standard. I'm not like an athlete, but I try. The next like big thing was our presentation night. So because I was college captain, I had to do a speech at that, and I also received 3 awards. I received a gold academic award, which is like the highest one you can get. I also got a gold service award, which is the highest service award you can get, and you get a service award from doing volunteer work. And I also topped visual art, so I got an award for that, which was super exciting, and I'm really happy with those. We had our last day of classes, which was really sad, but really happy as well. And the leadership team for next year got announced, which I was so happy about. I am so excited to see how they go in 2017. They're going to be such an awesome team. But it was also sad because I had to like say goodbye to being a captain, which I absolutely loved. Like, I was really scared at the start of the year because I was like, what did I get myself into? Because it was a lot of work. It was, and I didn't really realize that last year. Like this year it really sunk in that it was a lot of work, and I was kind of scared about that, but I do not regret it in the slightest. I loved being captain and I loved my leadership team. The other captain, Ruben, was the best guy. I could not have asked for a better partner. Like we worked really well together. I think the thing that a lot of people didn't realize was captaincy is a lot of behind the scenes work. There's a lot of going to functions before they start, like getting there an hour or 2 early so you can set up chairs for people to sit on. Like, it's not like glamorous, and it's not like everyone look at me, look how great I am. There's just a lot of behind the scenes work. There's a lot of sitting behind a computer for 3 hours trying to write a speech on top of all the assignments and stuff you have to do. There's a lot of times when teachers will just be like, by the way, you have to do this in 5 minutes, and you're just like, okay, I'll do it. And everyone is just watching you because you're the captain. You're supposed to be the example. You're supposed to be the one that people go to when they need things done, when they need organization stuff done. Like, you know, that's who people look to. And I was scared at the start of the year, but I definitely don't have any regrets. I definitely am happy with the way that our leadership team, the executive team, led our college. I don't look back and be like, oh, I wish we had done something else. Like, I look back and I'm like, yeah, I think we did good. We also did a couple of senior pranks, which was so much fun. One of them I vlogged. I'll link the vlog down below. We stuck pictures of our face everywhere around the school, and it was a lot of fun. And another one which I couldn't vlog because it was like in class and I didn't really have everyone's permission, so I didn't think I'd be able to post it. I did film it, but basically we have a composite class with the year 11s and year 12s in modern history because we're really small classes, and we pranked the year 11s pretty good. We got the teacher in on it and we basically pretended that we had this homework due. Like, we made it up. There was no homework due, but we pretended that there was homework due, and we made sure all of the year 12s knew. So we were like, yeah, we had this homework due, and all the year 11s were like, oh my gosh, we didn't do this homework. And the teacher yelled at them and stormed out of the class, and it was the best moment ever because she was like yelling at them, and as she yelled at them we were starting to giggle because we knew it was a prank. So we were trying not to laugh, but we were like trying to like hold in the laughter, but you know that never really works. And so we're sitting there kind of like, and then she turns to us and she's like, year 12, this is not a time to be laughing. You should be an example for them. Like, she was just kidding the whole time. Like, we knew that it was a prank, but they didn't. So then the year 11s were like, oh my gosh, what is going on? And the teacher was like, I've just had enough. And she storms out of the classroom, and all of the year 12s just get up and start high-fiving each other, and we're like clapping and we're like, yeah. And the year 11s were just sitting there like, what the heck is going on? We just got yelled at. Now the year 12s are like cheering about it, and they were so confused, and it was just the best. It was great. It probably sounds really lame, like, oh, we pretended there was homework, but there wasn't. But it was just the best moment ever. Then, of course, we had all of our exams and stuff, and then after our last exam, we all went down to the beach, and pretty much our whole grade just ran into the water in our uniforms, and we just went swimming in our uniform, and it was so much fun because everyone was just so happy and they were just loving life. I love my grade. We were a really small grade, but I liked that because it meant I knew everybody. Like, everyone knew everybody. I could go up and talk to anyone in my grade and it would be fine. Like, it was really good. We didn't have any really like cliques, like you cannot sit with this person, you cannot leave your own group. Like, everyone was so like chilled about everything. Like, I could go sit with some people one day, then go sit with another group another day, and no one really cared. We didn't really have that much drama. I didn't experience any drama in term 4. I know some people did because there was some stuff that went down with another group of people, but I didn't have to deal with any of that, so I was pretty happy. It was just like a happy but sad term. Like, everyone was so happy because we were like finally finished, and it was really happy in that sense, but it was sad because we were leaving. So after we had the ocean dunk, then we had our graduation, and graduation was probably one of my favorite nights of the year. I got to make a speech there, which was probably my favorite speech that I've made ever. I wish I'd filmed it for you guys, but I just didn't, and that was one of my regrets. I wish I'd filmed my speech. I don't know if I would have been allowed to post it anyway though, because it was it like mentioned people's names and stuff, but I loved it. Graduation was such a happy night, and I got to spend it with my friends, and I loved it so much. And then a couple days later we had formal, and I'm sure you guys have already seen photos from that because I've put my vlog up, I've posted photos on Instagram, and I just loved formal. I was really happy with how it all went. For me, everything ran pretty smoothly that day. I was pretty calm the entire day. I wasn't rushing. I got heaps of photos, which I'm so happy about. So it was a really great day for me. Like, I had no problems with it. And then 2 days after that, I left to go to schoolie, so I went to the Whit Sundays. You guys probably would have seen all my vlogs from that, and I loved that so much. It was such a great week. And then we came back, and I started my life as a non-student basically. And a couple of days ago I received my OP, which is like my year 12 result, same as like an ATAR I think in other states, and I was really happy with that. I worked really hard this year and I was really happy with the result that I got. It was just a great term. There was nothing that went really terribly wrong. There were definitely like some hiccups and things, like there were like assignments were hard and exams were hard, but it was a great term. There were so many just happy moments that I'll never ever forget, and I'm so glad. But it was probably one of the least stressful terms. It was definitely still stressful, but like every term is. Actually, maybe term 1 was the least stressful, but like it wasn't the most stressful term. This term was the same as the rest of the year in the terms of I had a social life, I went out every single weekend, and I do not regret it at all. I got the OP that I needed, I got the OP that I wanted, and I did that with having a YouTube channel, with having a part-time job, with being college captain, with being part of the football team and the touch football team and the fitness group and the social justice group at my school, and by doing volunteer work and by doing extracurricular activities and by going out and having fun with my friends on the weekends. But I worked hard when I had time, you know, like I set aside that time. You know, my assignments came before my social life, but the thing is, if you manage your time wisely and you set your goals and you work hard to achieve them, you can do everything you want to achieve. But it was so fun doing this series, and I don't know if I'll continue it into university or not. I'll have to wait and see. But I loved this year. It was an incredible year, and I could not have done it without you guys. Senior year was probably the best year of my high school career, and I guess I'll just be seeing you guys in my next video very soon. Goodbye.